I think we live. I think we live. I think we live. Let me make sure that we clicking on all cylinders. Think so. Okay. We are live on YouTube. Let me get these other things. Peace, everybody. Hopefully everybody's doing well today. Let's see. Let me get this situated. And then we'll get started. Let's see. Do live. Put the title. Boom. Boom. All right. Let's go here. How's everybody doing this evening? Hopefully y'all doing well. Hopefully y'all are taking care of yourself. Peace, family. Peace, God. You're in the building. How are you? Hopefully all is well on your end. I'm just getting everything situated on IG. Let me make sure it's the right channel, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's the right channel. We're about to get started in about 2 minutes or 1 minute. I just got to get this situated. All right. I think we're good on all cylinders. So if you want to see the presentation of what we're going to be discussing, Peace IG, we are going to see, you're going to be able to see all that on YouTube. So let me go ahead and open up. Let me see. Okay. I think we chilling. All right. Let me open up something real quick, y'all, so we can get started with the information. Boom, 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 boom. Damn, did I not even start with that? I guess I didn't. That's odd. No, not that one. Hold on, y'all. There it is. There it is. That's what I was looking for. All right. Let me share my screen and we'll get into this information, y'all. Let me see. Share the screen. Let's see. I'll blow it up just a little bit on my end so you guys can see. Cool. All right. All right. Should be able to see my screen. Let me close this to save space. Cool. I should be able to minimize that too. Unless it looks kind of weird. Let me see something. So that doesn't look too crazy. All right. Cool. All right. So the topics that we're going to be discussing today is non-federally recognized tribes and legal and political barriers to recognition. Right. We're just going to talk about some of the history that has taken place. Peace, God, you in the building. Peace, peace, peace. You in the building. Peace, peace, peace. You in the building. Peace. So, and then we're also going to be talking about an investment opportunity that I think is worth looking into, right? That most people aren't aware of, right? So it's one of those things that I think it's really good to like really investigate the different technologies that are out there. And so that's the idea, is that you don't know what you don't know until you network and talk with other tribe members and stuff like that. So we'll talk about that as well. But the key thing we'll talk about is like the non-federally recognized tribes and the legal political barriers to recognition. I'm not saying that I'll explain all that later. So before we get into that, here's the events, just to be aware of what's going on, what is happening, right? So we have the Hawab Regional Swing in Little Rock, Arkansas, October the 19th. So if you're in Arkansas, definitely come out, show some love. Peace family in the building. I definitely will send you a text message. And we also have the yearly fast in December, and then we have the Arna Ball December 30th, 2024, and then we also have the Aboriginal Powwow, right? April the 19th through the 21st, right? Let me see something real quick, y'all. I like that. And then we have the Aboriginal Summit, August 2025, right? So these are the dates to keep in mind. I'm sure there's going to be more events coming along the way, but these are the ones that are immediately that are going to happen within some time frame, right? And of course, if you want to sign up for the Juris course, as me being your professor, you can do that at shabazassociates.com and get all that information there. Oh, snap, you in the building. Peace to the God. Peace, peace, peace. And then for those who are trying to figure out where they can mingle, where they can, find some type of situation with a, potential tribe mate, right? Definitely fill out the Speed Cosmos Show intake. You definitely want to participate in that. Get all the details and all that stuff there. And obviously, this is just more of the details of the regional swing, right? I know you're like, Coach, hurry up and get into this stuff. I got to do this stuff, right? This is how I get the word out, right? So anyway, this is what you want to fill. This is what you want to fill out. All right. I know we talked about this last time, but this is for people who are new. What is ARNA? ARNA stands for the Aboriginal Republic of North America, and it is specifically a tribal government for the so-called Black American, Negro, African American, these denationalization terms. The nation has its people, has historical land that's been proven, and this is the only government for Aboriginal Blacks in America. And the founder is Amaru Namataiga Shiali, right? Current chief as well. So these are things that you need to be aware of, right? And this is kind of like set the discussion for the tone. And ARNA has been and still is self-autonomous. We didn't give up our individual sovereignty for a specific recognition dealing with the BIA. But we'll also talk about a particular strategy that's also taking place that's on a high level and things of that nature that maybe you are aware of, maybe you're not. Again, this is something that it's been in the works, but again, I'll explain it a little bit later. So just to explain the formal recognition that maybe people get confused about, we do have formal recognition of the United States Department of State, right? As you can see on my screen, this is the proof. And the plebiscite was created, which basically is a vote with a group of people on a political issue. That is the basic definition, the simplistic version of a plebiscite. And for those who are in the Juris course, we talked about this, we went over this. So this is something very important. You can see the important dates, and then you can see that, I think I might have missed it, but Condoleezza Rice's signature is on this right here. And this is the tax exempt number that is on your IDs currently, right? So let me wave to the people, y'all. Peace, y'all. And then you can also see that it also has the seal of the United States federal government, right? And then the supremacy clause, which deals with Article 1, full faith and credit, that's also full effect due to this. And then you have the Secretary of Commonwealth, Pedro's signature here, the Secretary of State, Pedro, at that time in Pennsylvania, right? And then you can see the plebiscite details in its inception, ISIS, right before transitioning to ARNA IPA, right? Very important stuff. So now that we kind of set the stage and the tone for that, here's another thing that goes along with that. Everyone has the right to self-identify according to international law. Problem is, we have allowed a small group of people to identify and tell who we are and what we were and how history was actually written. And that's the problem. That's the issue. So if you go to the Declaration Rights, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15, everyone has the right to a nationality, and no one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his nationality or denied the right to his nationality. Period. Right? So this is and then if you go to UNDRIP, Article 6 says every indigenous individual has the right to a nationality. Article 9, indigenous people and individuals have the right to belong to an indigenous community or nation. So now that we set that the stage for all that, right? Here's the reason why. I'm discussing these things because these things have occurred in the past. Normal issues are not something that we will experience in ARNA unless the Democrats are winning the election. So that's something to keep in your mind, right? The approach that we're going about it is way different. We've been in contact with specific people that are Republican in the Republican Party, right? And we have specific strategies that are not even being disclosed publicly for a specific reason, right? So here's some of the barriers that tribes, indigenous people, if you're thinking about, okay, yeah, I found some documentation, I got all that stuff put together, I know that this is a real tribe, right? So one of the barriers that you're going to actually face is historical racial exclusion and discrimination. When they know they're not supposed to do that, yo, peace God, you in the building. You in the building. They know they're not supposed to do that, yet they do that. And here's the easiest thing that they do, which these political genocide against Black Americans, African Americans on North America being classified by these denationalization terms, taking them out of their correct political status. So if you look at where they said Indians is the name given by Europeans, discoverers of America, to its Aboriginal inhabitants, folks. Statute without other limitation, the term has been said to include members of the Aboriginal race, whether now sustaining tribe relations or otherwise. Let that be clear. Let that sink in. This is the stuff that they're doing, right? Here's other things that still continue. If you look at this document, right, that was put together by Chief Ali, you'll see where the Aboriginals, who are misnamed Indians, and the Moors in Mexico, which at the time were in areas of Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, and California. Crazy, right? And this was documented. It says right here, their Mexico begins. Thence beyond the Bravo began the Moorish people and their Indian associates, to whom Mexico properly belongs. Who, you see what I'm saying? Like, this is the stuff that they don't teach in history. This is the stuff that they exclude from history. Oh, I think my thing is going haywire today. If it go, hold on, y'all. Let me do something real quick. It might overheat. All right, y'all. I think it overheated over here. So let me do this. I'm gonna stop this one, y'all, and just go to the Hawab one. All right. So thing overheated over here. So anyway, that's something to be aware of, right? All right. When you go to the Lewis and Clark exploration documents, you see right here where this says red man or white man, the black bushy-headed Washatas. Literally. They did not explain this in your public education, nor will they. And even here's right here. John Sibley reports in the Lewis and Clark documents. Choctaw, there are rambling hunting parties of them to be met with all over Louisiana. They are at war with the Caldagues and like by neither the red nor the white people. This is clear, right? This is freaking clear. Like, there's no question. Oh, peace, you're the building, family. Peace. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to get through this so that that way y'all can have a peaceful evening. But feel free to ask questions if something pops up, right? Going to continue with the historical racial exclusion. The Yamasee Indians, before they were federally recognized, it was documented that there were Negro Indian tribes of the South. Right here, Yamasee Indians were Negroes. So why did it take them a long time before they got the BIA recognition? Again, history repeats itself that they were like, nah, we got to keep them excluded. We can't get them to have access to the real history, to their actual true identity, and all sorts of stuff, right? So that's really the issue. Again, going to the Powhatan, 200 men as black as himself. You see, the Powhatan is the Olmec ancestor, literally right here. So why am I putting all this, in this perspective, right? Because if we go here where it says Indian recognized by eligible to receive services from the United States Bureau of Indian Affairs. Boom. Let me pull this up on the website real quick so y'all can see that this list gets extensive. So let me take that off the screen. And I'm gonna share a different screen. Let me share this. Oops. Not that one. All right. Oops. Why does it pull that? Okay. Here we go. Let me pull up the screen. Here it is. Readily recognized the registry, right? So if you scroll down, look, these Indians and entities are recognized to have the immunities and privileges available to federally recognized Indian tribe, government to government. Right? So look, you scroll down, these are all Blackfoot Indian, right? Montana. Like, look, these are all mostly in California right now that you're seeing. California, South Dakota, you got Louisiana, Oklahoma, right? The Comanche tribe, right? Again, Louisiana. So this is an extensive list. So hold on, did I see something I saw? I just wanted to make sure I confirm. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you see this is an extensive list. And I'm showing this for a particular reason, right? Yo, you in the building, peace. Right here. So you see this whole list, right? Now let me go back and I'll share my other screen. All right, right here. Why am I showing this? You'll see. All right, so an entity underneath ARNA is going through this process of BIA recognition. You can see the image right here. You see the Yamasee Powhatan Nation. And based off of the documentation that we were talking about previously, it makes sense, right? And so you got Chief Amaru Namatagashi Ali, who created the entity for it and is now going through the process of recognition. So you can see the details here, right here. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, let's continue. Economic barriers. Now I know y'all know, you're like, yeah, that is the main component because these entities are getting economic assistance, funding, grants, healthcare, education, housing, all these things. These are the barriers that are posed as disadvantages to those entities that do not have federal recognition. And then the cost of legal representation and doing the research is even another issue because maybe they don't have jurists on deck that can actually do this type of stuff. Right? Oh, peace, God, you in the building. Peace. But yeah, I mean, the economics alone, and y'all know, if you don't have economics, it's hard to do anything. Imagine trying to file a lawsuit against an entity and you have no legal representation and you don't know the law. You know how expensive it is to hire somebody? And it's going to be crazy. You're going to be like out of pocket. You're going to be broke. You're not even going to be able to continue on to pay this person or this attorney or this legal representation if you don't have the funds or the economics. So that stuff is important. And that's another barrier that they put, right? And then obviously the funding and access to grants and stuff like that. Because imagine if you had Imagine if you were given $20,000 in funding, grant money, nothing like that. There's nothing attached. You can do what you need to do. You could get a lot of things done with that money. But again, they're limiting who gets that through these specific channels. And again, we're already going through the process as I explained earlier. I showed it to you. These are the things that we've already completed, submitted, and we're going to do it pre and after election, right? So the Dawes Rolls, the Freeman controversy. This is another one. As you know, the Dawes Rolls is a form of a genocidal document, right? You know how many Aboriginal Black Americans were not, and their relatives were not listed on the rolls? And if they were, there was land that was under their name and that was stripped from them. And so that's really the issue, is that how are you going about assigning people these amount of things that they can have access to, land and funding, the land and the acres and stuff like that. But a lot of that was stripped from them, stolen from them illegally, and they know it, right? And so they try to sweep a lot of that stuff under the rug, right? And so if you go through the time period of 1887 to 1920, a lot of that land was confiscated from the so-called African American, Negro, even though that was the real Aboriginals, the real Black Indians, however you want to classify. Those are the real people, not these people who would look the $5. Anyway, so you get the point of what I'm saying. This is a big controversy, and this is one of the barriers. So if you're like, oh, if your lineage wasn't listed on the Dawes Rolls, you really are not about to get into no tribe, and yeah. So you're just going to be like what we classify you as a Negro, and that's what they do, right? That's part of the tactics. All right, the denial of tribal sovereignty by other tribes. Try interfacing with another tribe, Choctaw or somebody, and they're like, "Are you even on the BIA federally recognized? Yeah, we're not going to interface with you. Well, you want to be part of this tribe? I mean." Yeah, you say that, your family was listed on the Dawes Rolls and you have a roll number in our tribe, but I don't know. Show us more proof. Show us more documentation. They literally would do that, even though they're not supposed to do that legally, because that's grounds for a lawsuit, because they're really trying to discriminate. And especially if you have the documentation that shows that you belong to this tribe because you got your genealogy done either through the Shabazz Associates or one of the other members in the genealogy department in Arnhem, then what more else do they need? They're like, oh yeah, you need a birth certificate from that relative, you need a death certificate, you need birthday, you need that roll number. They make all these hoops and hurdles, and they'll take their sweet time approving it. So the idea is that they're like, oh, you're black, so why are you even in this tribe? Like you black, right? And black people are not in Native American tribes. So that's their way of like go away. And so that's usually they have they're asserting their right to discriminate either by blood type or through membership, right? That's literally how they go about it. It's really fucked up, honestly, if you think about it. So they do that. All right. Political resistance. Now I know y'all know what I'm talking about, but political resistance. There's political entities that are like, yo, if these Aboriginal people realize what we've done and who they really are, which is already happening, they can't stop that, right? They're like, oh, we can't let them get this recognition. We can't let them we can't let them come back into their political status, because the minute they do, they're gonna do something that's gonna really shift the paradigm, and it's already happening. So, and then you got the BIA reluctance to recognize these specific tribes, right? Because they're all in cahoots. They're all in cahoots, and they're skeptic. They're like, you don't know what you're talking about anyway. And then you could present, like we presented the documentation. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Even in their mind, they know that, like, oh shit, we're in trouble. So you get the idea of where I'm going with this, right? Culture eraser, like erasing culture, and a lot of misunderstanding. A lot of people think that in Arna we are culture vultures. Like, you're not even this, you're not even indigenous, you're not even, why are you backbiting and all this other stuff. And it's like the documentation shows that not everybody comes from Africa. Quote unquote, the name of the continent, right? That there was truly indigenous people, like we showed earlier. We provided context, right? So they're thinking that, oh, you guys are just trying to get access to benefits. And it's like, no, like there's literally history that documents that there was indigenous people who were black, quote unquote, if that's how you want to classify it, that were here in America, in North America, period. And so the goal of theirs was to wipe out all that history. As you know, as you went through public school, they didn't teach you none of this stuff at all. I say at all. So anyway, and I don't know if people have looked at like what is the criteria for federal recognition under the BIA. It's very strict. So if you don't have documentation, like good documentation of official records, aka the Dawes Rolls, the genocide document, they're like, I don't know if that's even real. Like what you presented is not even real. And plus, you got to think about it. They've destroyed a lot of documentation. They burned documentation, like in Virginia. Like that was on purpose. Destroying of evidential documents to keep people in the shadows and thinking a certain narrative that they want them to believe, which is crazy. So, and plus they've been forcing people to assimilate under a particular government structure, and then the burden of proof. What happens if you don't have the proof, the documentation, because it was destroyed? They're like, well, the burden of proof is still on you to tell us who you are, quote unquote, right? And so you got to produce that documentation, and that's what's made it challenging in the past for a lot of indigenous, quote unquote, black tribes. Now it's like there's a lot of information, there's a lot of documentation that has been put out, so it's like it's all coming out. So, all right, state recognition versus federal recognition. Nothing wrong with getting a little state recognition, right? We've done that within the region. Nothing wrong with that, or on a city level, nothing wrong with that. But it's limited to what it can actually grant or get some form of recognition. The main thing is the federal recognition. The federal recognition is the thing that kills a lot of the issues. But again, we won't be experiencing that unless we nominate, unless what happens is that people vote in the Democratic Party into office across the board. You're going to see things get a lot worse. So think about that. I know you're like, but that's how, my mama and my daddy, we voted Democrat, always voted Democrat. Listen, if you don't recognize what's actually happening to you, they're literally trying to wipe you out. So I wanted to do just kind of that kind of overview. I know it was like, damn, like it was kind of quick, because the reason why I was trying to do it quickly was because, I don't try to keep y'all all long, right? So hopefully that makes sense as far as like, these were some of the barriers. And some of these things are still an issue, right? Like if you think about it, like the economic barrier, you don't have, not only that, you don't have legal representation. You don't have no people pushing paper for you in Congress. What are you going to do about that? So that's what I said. So think about that. All right. If there's no questions on that, I'm going to move on to the economic benefits, or the opportunity, right? That I wanted to present, right? A national I came to me about this, and I was like, oh, this is very interesting technology, right? So Tronless Inc., building the next generation of everything, photonic transistors, right? So what am I talking about when it comes to this? So if you know what a phototransistor is, it's basically transmitting light, right? So transmitting photons into another electronical component, for those who are in engineering, right? Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, I mean, you could think of it as similar to a sun emitting rays to plants. They take in through, photosynthesis, and they process that light data as food and da 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 and blah blah blah. So it's no different from a phototransistor. So I'll explain why this is important. All right, so there's a device that's being developed by a brother, and it's called CodePro 4X, and it's utilizing phototransistor technology. So why am I talking about that? Like, because everybody knows that currently using what technology is being used in mining equipment is basically your AC to AC, your AC to DC power converters, a lot of resistors, a lot of electrical components, transistors, and stuff like that that are overheating and produce a lot of heat. Hence the fan, right? To keep the actual components cool. Well, this brother has actually developed this technology to utilize phototransistors. So if you think about that, they're using, and if you think about Bitcoin mining machines, they eat up a lot of the electrical bill, which is crazy. So you'd be like, damn. And so the key advantages to utilizing this device is that it's more sustainable, more energy efficient than utilizing a standard Bitcoin mining machine. More profitable, future-proof, and is scalable, right? So these are the things that I was looking at. I was like, "Oh, this!" And they even have a white paper out for those who are like, "Show me the technicals, Kojo." I'm like, they have a white paper if you want to go read it. So I thought that was interesting, right? And let me see what else I can tell you. And so the Code microprocessor, like the photonic processor, literally using photonic microprocessors to deliver speed at the speed of light to crypto mining, which is crazy. And they've already secured 16 patents already, and there's additional ones pending. So I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And it's like it can compete with NVIDIA, Intel. Now you got to think about all the big players that are already in this space, which is crazy. I'm not sure why that camera died. But yeah, so there's white papers and stuff like that available, right? Other applications that this is really good for: data centers, AI, robotics, big data, telecommunications. Again, like I said, the main thing is crypto mining. So if you want to know, or if you want to look at this data of this information, you could go to tronlist.ai and you can see all this information there, right? I think it's an interesting technology utilizing photonic transistors and microprocessors, because that's crazy. I've never even heard of that. It's usually typical microprocessors that generate a lot of heat, plus power supplies, plus different types of transistors, capacitors, resistors, all that stuff. And it's like, and it's more energy efficient, right? It doesn't rack up your bill, and you can still mine Bitcoin. As you know, let us see what the price of Bitcoin is today, y'all. All right, let me just type in Bitcoin, because you can go Bitcoin 67,000. Let me show y'all that on my screen, just so we know we talking about the same. But let me see. So y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Where is it? Here's the breakdown. Look at this. Bitcoin is at 67,000. Now you're telling me that, and this is for people who are like, crypto ain't going nowhere, Kojo, or crypto is a scam. Ooh, okay. You tell that to Federal Reserve notes that aren't even worth nothing, in the sense of they're just IOU notes backed by nothing. You go to your bank, you try to withdraw $1,000. They be like, "Why are you withdrawing with $1,000?" You like, "Ain't that my money?" And they're like, "No, not really." So you got to think about that, right? So that's a great investment right there. Yeah. Now, from what I was told, to get in the early stages, you just had to put down $1,000, and then to actually buy the machine, I think it's like $20K. So this is where group economics comes in. If you ain't got the 20 G's just lying around, that's where local jurisdictions come together, buy a machine or two, and then when it actually comes in, set up the equipment to actually start mining. right? So this is something that I'm like, oh damn, this is crazy. It's crazy. It's not a bad idea, right? So let me know what y'all think. Okay. So yeah, this is where y'all go if y'all want to find more information. Y'all want to find information on the white paper and stuff like that. I think it's a dope shit. Honestly. All right, y'all. Y'all know I'm not gonna keep y'all long, but make your health a priority. If you need to, figure out what the hell's going on with your body, definitely we'll do bioscans in Little Rock, Arkansas. We'll talk about how to get better health, right? And on that note, we open it up for questions. If there are no questions in 2 minutes, we appreciate your attention. So hopefully that makes sense though. I mean, I think, oh, you in the building, sis. Peace. You in the building. We done. I'll try not to spend on 2 hours, right, for class. But look at this. I think it's the dopest to me. Now, obviously there's risk. I want to let me make sure I talk about that. There is risk. Don't think that there is no fucking risk. There is a risk. And I think they're trying to IPO as well, right? So there is a risk, because maybe something happens and let's say the founder dies, or I don't know, right? They don't build on time, so there's a delay. So you always have to look at the risk and reward ratio, right? That's how I always say when it comes to investing. Understand that there is a time delay. There might be a time delay, and if there isn't, then you win, right? But if there is, then it could be a long time, could be a short period of time. But definitely look at their website, look at the documentation. You see, what do you say? Let me hold on. You said OpenAI and Starlink IPL may be a great. Yeah, I saw that as well. And I think that's interesting that these entities are doing that because one, I think it's like over, I think they said about is it 100 or 70 satellites for Starlink that are out there currently floating. And they have a competitor, which is AST Science. And I don't know if anyone's heard of that company. That's another thing that's competing with them, but OpenAI definitely for sure could be a good investment as well. Depending on Mr. Sam Altman and Elon Musk's lawsuit that's going. So that's still something to look into. Kojo, what do you think about using life insurance as your own bank? Man, I keep telling we've had class on that, and I've even shown people what plans I have for life insurance. Definitely a good strategy. And so here's a couple of things. So for those who have an employer and they have the life insurance through that, it's cool, but have your own plan that is outside of your employer. So that way, if in case you lose your job or you transition to another job, you still have the current plan that's a whole life plan that you've been paying into it. Because the thing is, you got to pay into it. You got to pay into it. At least depending on like how they have it set up and structured. I definitely have gone. I use what is that name of that company? It's not Liberty Mutual. I done forgot the name of that company. Hold on, let me Google some real quick, y'all. Top, because they're in the top 3. Top life insurance companies. Because I think one is like MetLife and what is the other one? Northwestern Mutual. That's who I have, right? So I have Northwest Mutual. Been paying into that thing for quite some time. So at any point, I could withdraw and utilize that for a different means. So if you have a whole life plan, that's where and it pays an actual dividend. That's really one of the best plans. And it's at affordable rate where you have, let's say you have a $70,000 or $100,000 plan that you're paying like maybe like $200. And then you have a term life, even though that term life can like basically, it's basically infinite if you work with the top insurance companies like Northwestern Mutual, or MetLife and things of that nature. That way, it goes up to like past like 50 years. And even when it does hit that point, right, it still continues anyway. So it doesn't matter. So you don't have to requalify yourself. So that's why you do it now versus later. But definitely with the whole life, that's recommended. Like, and that's basically how you be your own bank, because you guys basically can take out a loan after you paid a certain amount into it. You have to pay a certain amount into it. So, but it's definitely the way I tell people to. We've been telling people that for a while. Definitely recommend that, because I've seen it where people have no life insurance and they go and all they leave is a bunch of debt. Who is that? So yeah, hopefully that answers that question. Peace. You in the building? Let me take that off the screen. Say, can't wait to join. Hey, you about to nationalize, fam? Dope. One America. Is that one of the companies that is that's a top company? I don't think I've heard of One America. Are you talking about Transamerica, or are you talking about something else? Let me know, because I'm at least, I don't know everybody, but I do know the top 3. So let me know. Yes, sir. You good, fam. Anybody have questions? What y'all think about that Tronless ink with the photo transistor? That shit is crazy. Oh, you said One America. Oh, okay. I'm not even familiar with them. Like I said, I've been using Northwestern Mutual for years, and they're pretty easy. Get a dividend, it's a pretty good plan, and the cost is very effective too. So you ain't got to spend an arm and a leg to get a $1 million policy for a term life, and then for the whole life, you can get 100,000 policy for like under like $200, which is not bad, and they're a top company. So, what y'all think about the Tronless? Y'all gonna look into that? I think it's dope, man. I think it's dope, and like I said, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's a. Yeah. I may have to do that class again, but I did it like maybe like last year and the year before that. Like, I've shown my policy to people, like I recommend it, because like I've seen people, they die and then they're doing a GoFundMe, and it's like, oh, we didn't do the planning beforehand. I got. He said, "Yeah, that y'all is gonna be really interesting." Mine is, yeah, I'm telling you, yeah, man, like it's just crazy. So I'll be like, man, it's photonic transistor, yo, literally, it's just crazy. Anyway, I think it's dope. So anyway, so yeah, I gotta rewatch. I hopped on late. No. I was talking about the life insurance thing, probably like 2 classes ago. But if you're talking about the Tronless stuff or something else, yeah, go ahead and rewatch that. Oh, snaps. Peace. Hey, yeah. Definitely check out I'm telling you, I think it's dope. I think when the National told me, I was like, how come nobody know about it? I said, it's crazy. Don't nobody care? Mm-hmm. Oh, yo, you in the building. Peace, God. My bad, y'all. I'm sorry, IG. I had a couple of things. For whatever reason, this thing over here died, overheated. I don't know what happened. And then they said, I got a couple of bands. I'm nationalizing. Hey, yeah. Dope. I mean, if there's no other questions, y'all, we're going to wrap this up tonight. Thank you for y'all's time. I like to keep things short and efficient with the correct amount of information. Yo, yeah, you're right. Arna is about to change the globe. The science is crazy, literally. And we're doing that already. We're doing it in real time. So For those who got questions, if y'all want to know more information, definitely reach out to Hawaii Region 6 at gmail.com or Shabazz Associates at gmail.com. Go to the websites, go to arnagovernment.org, go to Aboriginal University, all that stuff. So on that note, family, we are out and we'll see y'all next week. And for those who are in Little Rock, we'll see y'all in Little Rock. Peace, peace, peace. We out.